Good morning. Yes, it is. Today's Tuesday. Got our coffee. We're all set. So it's August 29th, almost the end of the month. And that means stuff is starting to slow down, at least at our shop. Tractor stuff has peaked, or not peaked, but come up because I've got 7 now sitting out here in the yard. And hopefully, for the owner, we don't have to split any of them. So I thought today we would talk about goal setting. Yesterday we talked about, you know, finding something that works for you as far as getting into a new business. And goal setting can be for the guy that's just wanting to get in or start, to the guy that's been there for a while, to the old codger like me. The other thing I thought we could talk about a little bit is mobile service. You don't have to be stuck in a shop and have rent, mortgage, and that. So we can talk about that and the investment that you have to look at. All right, so let's talk about goal setting. What is goal setting? Well, goal setting is when you make a realistic goal. It has to be attainable. You can't say, I'm going to make $1 million this year. Now, is it possible? I don't know. Could be. Is it probable? Probably not. But if we set a realistic goal that we're going to make $10,000 more than we did the year before, whether it be in our area of repair business or on the individual level of added income. See, 10,000 sounds like a lot of money, but it's really not when you get to thinking about it in business. But we need to make all of our goals in our life attainable. And I'm not saying set the goal so low that you're going to get it all the time, because then you're not pushing yourself to focus and try to accomplish those goals. And when I say goals, all right, with a goal, you need to know what point A is, where you're at right now, and you need to know what point B is, where you want to go or where you want to be. It's like a roadmap. So with a goal, if we relate that to driving, all right, so we want to get from our house to Disney World. I know. That's for young people. We would plot out a course. We wouldn't just say, okay, we're going to Disney World and just fill the car up and just take off. We could, in whatever direction. We could be going the opposite direction if we don't know what our end goal is. And a lot of people in life want to attain better things, but they don't realistically start with pad and paper. Where is it I am right now? And where is it that I want to be next? And what you have to take into consideration and understand is, like with any roadmap, you're going to hit bumps in the road. You're going to hit detours. And that's what life is all about, is bumps in the road and detours. And it doesn't mean we give up and throw our hands in the air and say, I can't do it. No, I failed. No, it's, you look at the roadmap and you try to find a route around. You slow down for the speed bumps, the road bumps, but you try to find a route that goes around the detour so you can still get to your destination. And that's what goal setting is. is you start out with a realistic goal, and you need to put it on paper. What is it that I want to do? Is it a better job? Is it more income? Is it a better husband, a better wife, a better family member, a better parent? You name it. It's possible if you do it correctly. What I see a lot today is people needing instant gratification. And that boils down to coddling and telling the person it's not their fault if they didn't attain the goal, if they failed. I don't want you to take failure as a bad thing. Failure is never bad. I know, you're probably sitting there thinking, this guy's an idiot. No, failure is never bad because it's going to show us, it's going to teach us what not to do the next time and the next time. Where you have a problem is if the next time you're still doing the same doggone thing and getting the same results, then there's something you really need to look at in life, and that's called creating a set of goals that are attainable and understanding that if this does not work, it doesn't mean that it's not attainable. It just means that it's not attainable the way that you spelled it out. So you have to be realistic. So let's get back to good old common sense. A lot of people want to get rich quick. Now, excuse me, I can name a few cases of where a person went from nothing to possibly a multimillionaire overnight. But it's not a norm. You know, we talked about Oliver Anthony with his song Richmond North of Richland and how he went to the charts. It's because he struck a nerve. He struck a nerve in America and globally that, you know, we all feel that way. But what it also did was it went from him living in a camper with a tarp over it, and he's got more than just that song. He's been writing songs for a while, and he's been through a rough patch. But one of the studios, the song companies, offered him $8 million to sign on with them. And he, as far as I know, he turned it down. Why, I don't know. You know, I know that he's probably getting kickbacks from iTunes, but that's the one in a million that, you know, and he wasn't trying. Can you become a millionaire? Yes. Are you willing to really lay down the steps to do it? Or you just want somebody to hand it to you? Because that's what I see today. People want handouts. They don't want to work and feel good about achieving goals. This could be the best time in your life, or it could be your worst. Depends on how you look at it. As the old saying goes, some people look at half a glass of water as half full, and others will look at it as being half empty. Some are pessimistic. Some if you are pessimistic, it's going to be hard. And I want you to set goals that are achievable short term, and then goals that are achievable long term, as well as you folks that aren't. And you don't have to set just one goal. But within the one goal, you could say, by this time I want to be here, by this time I want to be here, by this time I want to be here. And those are stops at the hotels along the way to Disney World. You've achieved that to this point. Now let's go to the next point. Let's go to the next point. And at any point you hit a roadblock, don't throw away everything you've got to that point. Just sit down and find a way to get around that way that didn't work to a way that would work to get you to the next step. And that's how business is. Most businesses don't look at short term. They look at long term and longevity. Just to say I want to create a small engine repair business and have a shop, blah, 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 and knock that out in a year, I say, okay, so I'm done with this. I achieved my goal, so I'm going to go do something else. Most shop owners are looking at, where do I want to be in 1 month, 6 months, and a year, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years? Yeah. They may not be here in 5 years, but you have to plan out. And understand that if you have to make corrections and changes to your goals, it's okay. The last thing I want is for you to get down on yourself and give up. Because giving up does nothing for you or anybody else. I mean it. If you need a couple days to kind of get your crap together and try to figure out what went wrong, and you can ask people to help you with your goals. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's personal goals, you need to do it yourself. If it's a business goals, if it's, then it's okay to get other people involved because now they're part of your goal. But if it's on a personal level of trying to build up self-esteem, or you just came through depression, or what have you, that's more of a personal nature. So there is a difference in goals. And not everybody is going to want the same goals, I can tell you right now. When you're doing the goals, especially on the personal level, you have to be 100% honest with yourself, or it's not going to work. And the honesty starts with, where am I today? And how do I feel about myself and where I am today? And if it's a negative, we need to figure out how to get that turned to a positive. I mean it. Because if it stays a negative, you aren't even going to try. I already know that. So we got to change it into a positive. And that is, if you have to take baby steps and really, really short goals, short-term goals, and long-term goals in one, do it. If you're a shop owner and you're looking at closing your doors because you can't figure out what the next move is, if you've had enough, I understand. But if you're trying to think that, well, there's no way of making any money, the shop's going backwards, do some goal setting. And if you're going to do goal setting for your business, you have to include other people. And that could be your spouse, that could be your employees, that could be your vendors. It could also be people right here on the channel, including myself. I mean, we have a good group, a good core of people with different levels of experience and different directions. So if you need to toss it out there and say, I could use some help with this, we could give you suggestions. But in the end, you're still the one that has to do it. You're still the one that has to follow through with it. And that's what this group is about, is helping other shop owners, helping other individuals, give them that one leg up, the helping hand to give them a boost, but not to do it for you. And if you have anybody helping you, you don't want them doing it for you. Because if you have somebody else doing it for you, that means they're attaining the goal instead of you. And that you won't feel comfortable in saying, I attained that goal. And then deem it a failure because you can't keep coming up with that idea without going and asking the other person. When in real life, you have it within you. You have the answers. Right? And make realistic goals. I want to make my shop solvent in 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. And you have to have faith. And I know that people get nervous when you start talking faith. But you have to have faith that something bigger than you will also help. Now, I'm not a Bible pumping, preaching, but I personally believe in God. And I think that if you're working really hard and you're struggling, if you just ask for help. I've been helped more than once, I can tell you that. That things just happen. But he isn't going to do it for you any more than I'm going to do it for you. You know, I used to have a teacher in high school. He used to say, the Lord giveth and I taketh away when it come time for tests. Yeah. All right, so maybe some of you guys out there, you know, have other approaches, and you can do it in the comments. Have been at it for a while, kind of give everybody an idea of what I'm talking about and maybe how you do it. Because again, it's all about us, you know, helping each other. So I mentioned mobile settings or mobile service. And I had one of you guys say that since you went to the mobile service, you are now making money versus paying rent, lights, heat, everything else. All you've got is just your truck and trailer. But that's where I got questions, you know. How did you get your start? I mean, you need a vehicle, and you would need an enclosed trailer. You don't have to buy new, and you don't have to buy a new truck. But my suggestion would be you're going to need to pay for decals to advertise your business on both sides of your trailer, and then just get the throw-on door things for the side of the door in your vehicle. Now, my trucks, years ago, we run our name and logo on all of our trucks here that we had. We had 3 at one time. And gradually I've gone away from that. It was an investment that I didn't see where it was paying off for me with getting the higher end graphics and stuff. But the key to that is keeping your investment money low. Buy a used trailer, you know, fit it with the least amount of stuff that's going to get you by. And you need to plan routes. What do I mean by routes? I mean, you can't hodgepodge all over the country. You can't drive 30 miles this direction, do an oil change, and get paid 60, 70 bucks, and then drive another 30 miles the other direction. You're spending all your money on gas and time. You're worth something even though you're driving from point A to point B. So in that 30-mile stretch, it would be more cost-effective to me as if you had 5 or 6 that you were going to stop and hit on that route that day within the same straight line. And then the following day, go a different direction, hit 5 or 6 this way. And the next day, 5 or 6 this way. That makes sense to me. But driving all over the place doesn't, because a lot of people don't take into account that the time that they're driving and not working on something that they shouldn't be paid for. And yeah, you do. You need to get paid for it. So the only way you're going to get paid for it is either gouge the customer, for the pickup and drop off, which some people charge anywhere from $60 to $100. So now that's on top. If you can do that, hey, all the power to you. But up here, it wouldn't fly. We have one of the local John Deere dealerships that has a mobile service for the John Deere mowers and stuff. And the guy gets paid an hourly rate, and the shop sets up the routes for him of where he's going. So you guys out there that with a mobile service, speak up. I'd like to hear more about how you're doing it and what kind of an investment that you had to spend to get into it. Because even a good used enclosed trailer, you want it tandem axle, because you have weight with drums and with oil and disposable oil and gas and compressor, probably a vise. You want to carry some parts, but if you knew your route the day before and you took down the customer's models that they had, and see, once you do this for a couple of years, you will already have built a database of what your customer has for a mower until they update. So if you know you're headed that direction, you can take out of a shed and just put on the stuff that you need for those 5 stops, those 5 mowers, whether it be mower blades, belts, oil, fuel, spark plugs, fuel filters, oil filters, and so on in the truck, so that it's there if you need it. When you get back, if you didn't need it, hang it up, go through the next day's route, fill the camper or fill the enclosed trailer, and go on that one. Alright, so on that note, you guys, keep the comments coming. I appreciate it. And be realistic when it comes to setting your goals. Just have common sense. Too many people want to shoot for the moon, and then when they don't get there, they're all upset because they failed. For you guys that are watching my videos, I want you to learn that failure and failed is not a bad word. It just means that it wasn't attainable by doing it that way, that you have to find another way. And the biggest thing is you need to find ways to do stuff without hurting other people. It's a big thing. if you're setting goals and it's about a business and your partner's been with you for a number of years being part of that business, and you leave them out of the goal setting, that could be hurtful to them because they put in their blood, sweat, and tears to do the same thing. So when it comes to businesses and stuff like that, that's why I say you have to include other people. Your employees play a big part on whether you're going to be successful or you're going to fail. Treat your employees good and your customers good, then you will succeed faster than if you are on the asses of your employees and not that happy-go-lucky and interested in your customers and just, all day. All right. So on that note, you guys have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you here tomorrow morning, Wednesday, almost the end of August. Yes, it is. That means deer season's coming. That's the end of September here in New York. Say we're getting lows at night in the mid to upper 40s, and then highs in the mid 70s. I got hay to get in this afternoon. I'm doing rat bales. And then we're supposed to get rain tomorrow, I guess. But all right, guys. I'll catch you on the next video.